At our briefing on Friday mornings as usual, and we've got the Chief Minister as well, but also Home Affairs, Juan Watterson, and 3 press releases, all glowing from your department this week, isn't it? Falling crime yet again. I mean, I have said this over and again, how low can you go? Even you must be thinking that by now.
Absolutely. It is surprising, but I think it comes down to some of the structural changes that we've seen in policing in the last 5 to 10 years, certainly on Mike Langdon's watch. Changes to values-driven policing, the move into neighbourhood policing, work with other agencies such as the Youth Justice Team. These are significant structural changes that we've seen in the way that we do criminal justice and policing on the Isle of Man, and we're seeing the results of that now. So I think it's a remarkable success story. And you're right, how low can it go? I don't know. I'd love to think it can continue falling. But yes, 1,400 crimes for the first 6 months of the year, an absolutely fantastic success for the police, making us still, and by an increasing margin, the safest place to live in the British Isles. Yet,
and we have touched on this about the cutbacks you enforcing on the police. This is probably going to be where we're going to see an upward trend from now on, or am I being pessimistic?
I don't know. I think we sort of laid a lot of the good groundwork in terms of engagement with young people, engagement with a number of groups across society to make sure that we are still being proactive and preemptive in doing that sort of work rather than just sort of reacting after the event.
Are people's perceptions that we are living in a low crime place these days, do you think?
We haven't done a survey recently on perceptions of crime, but what we do regularly do is survey people's satisfaction with the police, and we've got at the moment a 93% positive satisfaction rating with the police, and that's even higher than the Met, who have got an 88% satisfaction rating. So I think that we must be doing something right, and I think we've gone from an era of policing being something that we do to people to being something that we do with people now.
And of course, last week in the Awards of Excellence, your Youth Justice Team won the award.
Well, not just my Youth Justice Team. It's a police lead, but it brings together professionals from social care, from health, from economic development. So it's a really glowing example of cross-departmental working at its best to deliver good outcomes for young people. And that's the key. I mean, I have to say, I think they do a fantastic job. They really put their heart and soul into delivering for the young people that they deal with.
Now, Mr. Langdon is going. He's the new chief there. Now, you've also announced in the Fire Brigade that there's going to be a change at the top. How are you going to go about filling that position for Mr. Draper?
Yeah, it's been a really significant change in the last few years. I mean, obviously, Chief Executive arrived last year. I arrived last year. We've got a new Chief Constable starting on the 1st of January, and now we've got a new Chief Fire Officer that we need to recruit. So a lot of change. In terms of the recruitment process, we're looking for someone who's got the strategic vision to take the Fire Brigade forward, to continue to do the right balance between the preemptive work on one side, the prevention work, and also still being able to deliver a first-class service when it's needed in the event of a major incident.
And will this be an actively local position, or will that be advertised elsewhere?
I think in the same way that with the Chief Constable, we'll be looking to get the best candidate for the job with the best strategic vision. So we will be casting our net broad and seeing what people come forward and testing that skill set.
And when will this position be changing?
It'll be changing early in the new year.
So high hopes still, even again, more cutbacks in that area. And I know from speaking to people that they are under what they consider to be more pressure than they've ever been to deliver the services. What do you say about that?
I certainly accept that. I certainly have a great deal of sympathy with that. Cutbacks are going not just across the Department of Home Affairs, which they are, but also right across government. It's got to be remembered that we're spending £55 million more than we earned this year, and we've got to sort of right that by the end of this Parliament. And we've got a plan to do that, but it's not going to be easy, and we are going to have to still curtail spending.
Because you're not protected, are you? Your budgets will be cut again.
Everyone's budget will be cut, whether it's either in cash terms or in real terms, because we have to get back into a situation where we have a government that we can afford to run. And that's, at the end of the day, what we have to achieve by the end of this Parliament.
And do you believe, I've asked you before, but do you believe you've got them behind you, they're understanding what you're having to do?
Yes, I do, and I think that there is an understanding right the way through the Department of Home Affairs that we are in a difficult position, people are challenging the way that they have always done things. They're having to think more creatively. But I've got a lot of confidence that the team around me in Home Affairs, right from the bottom all the way up to the Chief Executive, are well and truly committed to that cause.
Because as I said, I mean, the crime could be now nudging up. We don't know. I mean, it can't go much lower anyway, let's face it. And with the cutbacks there. And then the fire and rescue, if they can't manage a situation because they haven't got enough people to deploy, you'll be in the firing line.
Well, we do have just over 100 firefighters around the Isle of Man. I think this pinch point is always going to be about the speed of response, not the ability to respond. But as I say, continuing to also balance that alongside the prevention work that the fire brigade need to do in terms of preventing fires in the first place, that's going to be a continuous challenge and a continuous balancing act for them.
Finally, the prison, which is coming down, it went through without any question of saving it. Were you surprised?
No, I think Victoria Road represented a pretty grim reminder of the island's past. I think we need to move on. We've got a far more modern facility in Derby, and we need to look forwards. And in terms of that looking forwards, I actually want to see fewer people in prison, getting those people who aren't a danger to society, who shouldn't be in there languishing, but actually out there repaying that debt to the community.
But will you be getting rid of it? Because, I mean, I've already asked you this, but I mean, in a year's time, will we be still sitting there looking at a brownfield site?
Well, we haven't yet got as far as what government collectively is going to do with it, whether government sells it or whether we use it for another sort of government project, whether that's sort of housing or something else. That's something that we're going to have to determine.